Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode of Questions Off-Gridders Get Asked. Today we have a two-part question, and the first part is, does off-grid land offer the ability to hunt or fish? So I'm going to start it off, I guess, and kind of talk about basically our area. Our area does provide the ability to do that, not necessarily everywhere in the area, depending on what species you're looking to hunt. So we do have a lot of pheasants and grouse around here, porcupines for those that are interested in eating those, moose, bear, sheep. Then you also have fishing, and that usually consists of dominantly trout fish around here. Where did you want to come in on this one?
Yeah. So, I mean, when you think about the question of, whether off-grid land offers the ability to hunt or to fish, so the question itself kind of assumes that all off-grid land is out in the middle of nowhere or out in the country, which is not always true. But for the sake of this question, we're just going to pretend that it is. Mm-hmm. Of course, the ability to hunt and or fish on off-grid land is dependent on where you are. Mm-hmm. In the world, because not everybody who lives off-grid is close to a lake or close to a river or close to a source of water, and not everyone who lives off-grid is in a habitat that's made for hunting. Mm-hmm. Hunting and off-grid living in the prairies is going to look much different than off-grid living and hunting in the mountains. So yes, it's dependent on where you live, what you can hunt and what you can do. Mm-hmm. I think there's different requirements for wildlife, and of course you got to take that into account when you're there. For us, we're in an area with quite a bit of wildlife. So like Andre said, we have lots of fishing that's available and hunting that's available too. That's right,
and it's not all easily accessed either. So a lot of the times, like where I go fishing, I have to cut out my own path because of fallen brush in the spring or whatever. So it's not just easy path to get into where you gotta go. And if you're going out for like mountain goats or something like that, now you're really trekking up high into the mountains to find the goats or the sheep, depending on what it is.
And you don't have that guarantee that you're going to find them either.
True enough, exactly. So that's depending on, like Kimberly said, depending on where you are. If you're on the East Coast or further east from where we are, you'll have then ducks and geese that you can shoot, where we don't really have that. We have some swans, but who really eats swans? I guess if you're desperate times causes for desperate measures.
Yeah. I've never tried swan before.
Neither have I.
How it tastes.
Exactly. Yeah. Should we move on to the second part?
Yeah. So our next question that we got from someone was what types of protection do you need or should you have living off-grid on a homestead? So
this comes off the hunting part.
Off of the hunting part. Yeah. So again, it depends on if you're living off-grid versus if you're living off-grid on a homestead. If you're living off-grid and you're just like in a cabin in the woods and you're still, buying your groceries from somewhere or whatever, then great. You may not have to worry about as much wildlife and everything like that. But if you're living off-grid and you are running a homestead where you have animals or produce, even just a garden is going to attract wildlife. Mm-hmm. And obviously that depends on where you are. Bears are more attracted to, your bigger animals like goats and things like that, right? Then you have lynx that go after chickens, and you have hawks that are going to go after your chickens. And so it depends on what kind of animals you have and what kind of lifestyle you live off-grid, I think. A homestead implies that you raise your own food, and so depending on what kind of food you're choosing to raise, you have to consider what kinds of predators are also going to be after your food source.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, especially like we keep freezers full of food outside in the all year round, and so you never know when you're going to have a bear that can come off and peel the lid off the freezer and it's into your food. So you want to take care of that as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. So depending on where you are, in the winter like this, where if you have a predator and something comes onto your property, maybe you want to get a rifle or something like that. Whereas if you're perhaps in the spring, summer, and fall, where something can get closer to you a lot faster, you might look at a shotgun or something like that. But you don't even have to get into firearms at all. You can always look into just getting a bows, crossbows, anything of that nature. Even the knife will help you in the best in a close contact.
Yeah.
Exactly. But away from just personal protection like ammunition and firearms, you're also going to need animals such as dogs. So if you, like Kimberly said, if you do have wild animals, livestock on your homestead, it'd be a good idea to have at least one dog, and I mean like a real dog, not like overgrown squirrels.
A designer dog.
Yeah, exactly. But at least something that can let you know that something is on the premises, because the hearing and the sight from a dog, the nose from a dog will help you huge on a homestead, especially just alerting you from anything coming on.
And that's if an animal gets close enough. A lot of the times, if you have dogs, other animals are going to sense that. Bears and coyotes or whatever other predators are out there are going to sense that. So speaking from personal experience, the first year we moved here, when the dogs had not really been on the property, we had 5 bears on the property at different points, just because the dogs had not been here for an extended amount of time. Now that we've been here for a significant amount of time, the dog scent is kind of in the area and it's around. So we haven't seen any bears since last summer.
Well, bears are also hibernated.
They're hibernated right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we'll see that when the truth's going to come out when spring happens.
Yeah, well, we did see a lot of lynx last year, and we don't see any lynx this year on our property.
Winter. So. Yeah, it's definitely a good idea if you're going to have a homestead, for you to have protection like animals as well. So I would suggest dogs, because wildlife just has a general I think fear or instinct to go the other way when they smell dogs and when they scent dogs.
And another option would be like motion sensor lights too, and those are great for at night when you want something, like where our chicken coop is, we have a motion sensor light on, so if the dogs are in the doghouse and sleeping and that light goes on at night and I'm awake and I see it, well, now I know that shouldn't be on, and I can go check it out, or Kimberly can go check it out in the dark.
Yeah, right, sure.
Yeah, I think that's it for that part of.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Thanks for listening, guys. If you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything like that, please make sure you leave them down below, and we'll be sure to get back to you.
Take care.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.